Thank you, Chair. Welcome. And through to the member opposite. The member specifically asked about what are the services that we do have for the transition to adulthood for youth agreements. Obviously, within the youth agreement, there's the plan for independence, the one-on-one transition worker. We have offer comprehensive plan of care for youth in care, supported independent living or transition homes, living homes or transition homes, life skill courses, coordinated cross-ministry transition planning approach.
And she's just reading what's being handed to her. You know, it's not like she's going off and digging up that information for herself, right? She's just a reciprocal to that information, but she gets all the honor.
And the practice of youth engagement with a focus on adult-youth partnerships. The
movie Little Mermaid comes to mind.
Our new operational and strategic directional plan does is it has one of our targets is to address the 19 to 24 year old transition.
Member for North Island.
I just want to wrap up with this. I think this might be my last question. And with that, I'd like to thank the Minister and her staff for this session. I know it's been frustrating at times and they feel a little bit under the gun. There are a number of areas which I don't feel we have covered and we'll be writing to the Minister for response on. But just wanted to wrap up with more of a question on, one last question on the youth agreements and the actual support. The Minister's just sort of enumerated a list of possibly ideal world.
And the way they're programming things with all this Wi-Fi shit, listen to this first.
Young people who are on youth agreements, they're going through, obviously they're in a very difficult situation, and how the ministry can make sure that these young people get that support, all the ones that the minister was talking about, so we don't get stories about what happens when a young person is on their own. They don't know what they're doing about cooking, they don't know about paying rent, they're very much on their own, they're isolated, their peers have all got families to go back to, whether it's foster parents or whoever else. And how the minister can make sure that these young people can transition through, can grow into people who are productive young people who are participating fully in our society and not end up with, as what is very sad, is the stories one hears of the young people who are on youth agreements, can't cope, end up with mental health problems, and then very sadly either become mentally ill or potentially commit suicide later on because of a failing in the system. So I wonder what the ministry can do to make sure that we aren't facing that and there is something proactive happening.
Okay, since we know it's going to take her 5 minutes to answer the question, how do we know with all this Wi-Fi and pre-programming and Google selecting what they think you should look at when you click on their page in terms of advertising? You know, the information that you receive is geared to whoever is sending you this information would like to manipulate your thoughts, right? With the way they splicing this crap up, and we know that, you know, everything is connected to the satellites, so you phone up the cable company and say, I want to cut it off. They can just click of a switch and that's it. Your cable, certain parts of your cable can be shut completely down. You still might have your basic line, but, you know, you can, fancy lines, fancy channels you won't have. How do we know that some of this debating, the way they've had Jenny Kwong on and then switched it over to a different day from a different debate on a different day with different people talking about different things? How do we know that wasn't programmed specifically to my house? Now, that's conspiracy theory, right? But if they're doing it on the internet,
Honourable Minister,
you know, why not through your cable lines?
I think the member opposite, I mean, she's raising an important issue, and it's one that I think we certainly in the ministry recognize. That is one that the best way to tackle, I think, and I believe, is to engage with the youth, and that is one thing that the ministry is committed to doing. In fact, last week I did have the ability to have lunch with three youth in care that came to my office and then came to question period after, and it was very interesting. Two of it was a girl and two boys, and one of the boys and the girl had very good experiences and talked to me very openly about how they feel they were lucky in the experiences they had. The other fellow who was there, and we had lunch together, and he said it wasn't. And we asked why, and he talked to us. And I thought, that's the kind of thing that we actually have to do rather than talk in informal situations like that. We have to meet with the youth, we have to engage the youth and chat about some of the issues. What have we done, what are we doing that's working, and what can we do better? I mean, that's what you need to do, and I think it's something that I would be very happy, as is my deputy, to engage the member opposite in the discussion, and as we chat about what can we do better. Certainly, the McCleary Centre Society has some suggestions, but we also have the new operational and strategic directional plan, which when we're able to share it, you'll see that there are some very good ideas. But we'll continue to do what we need to move forward. I do also want to thank the member opposite for all of her hours here. Discussing things, and the other members who joined in, thank you very much. I also want to recognize the fabulous staff that we have here.
So are they winding it up and it's over now? And then tomorrow when you turn on the in the afternoon, right? I don't get to see the morning because I'm up usually very late. So I'm lucky to get the afternoon session with the oral question period and that type of thing. So is that when they're going to call in their vote? Like, is this it? That's it. That's it. What happened to Jenny's questions?
Vote number 16. All those in favor? Aye. Anybody opposed? No? Carried. We will have a short recess.
Okay, so that's April 24th. Committee in recess. What is this? April 24th, 2012. 2:30 to 6:30 p.m. That's what we were watching. But it said in the beginning that was yesterday's debate. Budget estimates for the ministry. Okay, when I turned on the camera after Jenny Kwong, they said it was yesterday's debate, not today's. Here it's saying it's today's. So, I don't get it. Okay, they just switched it to the budget estimate for the Ministry of Transportation and Infrastructure. Same date, same time, next meeting. Okay. How does that make any sense to what we were talking about? And again, what happened to Jenny Kwan's question?
Drop of transportation and
Okay,
infrastructure.
so again,
Mr. Chair,
what happened to Jenny Kwong? What happened to Jenny Kwong's question? When I turned on my camera, we were watching Jenny Kwong, and she was bringing out the rental disparities and how it affects poor families, and it puts the children at risk of being removed from social services because the mother or the father is deemed as unfit because they can't provide adequate living space. So now they're, that was a very serious question, and it was bypassed, avoided, buried, almost deleted, because I don't know if I'll ever find out the answer to that question. So, transportation is another day. Peace out.
I have Dave Bing, who is